The classification of enzymes. Remember that enzymes, the majority are proteins, and mostly proteins. Enzymes are biological catalysts to speed up the reactions by lowering the activation energy, maybe holding the reacting molecule in place, building that enzyme substrate complex with utilizing an active site. Okay, so that we get proper alignment, increased probability of effective collision. Okay, but enzymes, okay, they are categorized or classified according to six general reaction types. Okay, and so let's do a brief introduction to each one of these. Okay, so we have the oxidoreductases. Okay, and if you notice, enzymes, the suffix ase is there in their names, in their classifications, kind of to help us recognize enzymes. Okay, these enzymes, they catalyze. Okay, so they catalyze the loss or gain of hydrogen or oxygen. Okay, so they catalyze the loss or gain of hydrogen or oxygen in the reaction. Okay, we see things they call them oxidases, catalyze the oxidation of a substrate, whereas dehydrogenases catalyze the removal or addition of two hydrogen atoms. Okay, and so there's one called alcohol dehydrogenase. Okay, all right. Now let's go to the next. Okay, so let's look at transferases. Okay, look at the key or the root of that word transfer. Okay, so it's the transfer of a functional group. Transfer of a functional group between two compounds. Okay, so these enzymes catalyze the transfer of a functional group between two compounds. Okay, we may see stuff called transaminases. Aminases catalyze the transfer of an amino group from one substrate to another, or the kinases catalyze the transfer of phosphate groups. Okay, remember that's PO4s with the -3 charge, the phosphate groups from one substrate to another. Okay, all right. Now let's move on to the hydrolysis. Okay, catalyze hydrolysis reactions. Okay, so catalyze reactions. Okay, catalyze hydrolysis reactions, which let's remember, this is where you add water to split a compound into two products. Okay, we see this with proteases. Proteases catalyze the hydrolysis of the peptide bonds in proteins. Okay, so that you can break down the primary structure. Okay, lipases, think of lipids, so catalyze the hydrolysis of the ester bonds in the lipids. Okay, or the nucleases catalyze the hydrolysis of the phosphate ester bonds in nucleic acids. Okay, so hydrolysis of peptide bonds, ester bonds in proteins and lipids respectively. Nucleases catalyze the hydrolysis of the phosphate ester bonds in nucleic acids, okay, using excuse me, this classification group, hydrolysis. Okay, now let's look at the lysis. okay, catalyze the addition or removal of a group without hydrolysis. Okay, so the addition or removal of a functional group without, okay, without hydrolysis. Okay. All right. So, example of this: decarboxylases. The decarboxylases catalyze the removal of carbon dioxide from a substrate, or the deaminases catalyze the removal of ammonia from a substrate. Okay, so the addition or the removal of a functional group without hydrolysis, okay, or substance. Okay, and then the isomerases. Okay, key word here is isomer. Okay, so it's catalyzing the rearrangement. Okay, isomers are about rearranging the atoms into another stable arrangement, configuration, creating a different compound. Okay, so catalyze the rearrangement of atoms within a substrate. Okay, the rearrangement of atoms within a substrate. Okay. So examples of this: isomerase catalyze rearrangement reactions. There's a group called epimerases catalyze rearrangements of carbohydrates. Okay, rearrangement of carbohydrates. All right. Okay, and then let's look at the ligases. Okay. So ligases, think of that as joining or linking together. So joining of two substrates okay, putting A and B together, okay, and it uses ATP energy in the process. Okay, so example of the formation of a bond between two substrates utilizing the energy of ATP. Okay, so carboxylases catalyze the formation of a bond between carbon dioxide and a substrate. Okay, so see, putting two together, joining of two. Okay, so carboxylases join the CO2 with a substrate. So A plus B comes together to make AB. Okay, in the process, it utilizes ATP. Okay, so 6 categories of enzymes classified based on their functionality, what they do, how they do it.